welcome to Waylander's Wandering, where it is Sunday, the 31st of December 2023, and it's time for a big reveal on the Sunday roundup from Games Workshop. First of all, of course, I would like to wish all my viewers a very happy new year, and may only the best things happen to each and every one of you. So, without further ado, let's skip across to the Sunday preview and see what's in store. So the big reveal for this week is we are looking at the release of and return of Warhammer The Old World with two core sets. The first featuring the Kingdom of Bretonnia, which has 3 Pegasus Knights, a general mounted on a Pegasus, 2 squads of men-at-arms, a squad of archers, and 2 squads of 6 Knights of the Realm, bringing us to a total of 76 plastic Citadel miniatures. Also included are a Warhammer The Old World rulebook in hardback, a reference sheet, a set of Watchlight transfers, or decals if you will, for your knights representing all types of Warhammer heraldry, 2 whippy stick measuring sticks, and some nice old-fashioned plastic templates. Big round ones for blasters, and a sort of teardrop shaped one for flames and other magical effects. This is quite a nice set. I don't know the price of it. I'm going to guess around 125, maybe 150 pounds, based on previous releases, and this is very nice, and this is the one I'm going to be purchasing myself. I probably won't get the pre-order because I'm not willing to get up that early on a Saturday morning just to get a pre-order in before all the stock disappears, and it's just been Christmas, mate. It's expensive. I have no money left. Of course, the other set is our bony brethren from down south in Kemri, with the 2 Kings of Kemri edition, featuring many a bony bugger, a total of 93 plastic Citadel miniatures, 2 of which are brand new, which is our Tomb Prince and Lich Priest riding a huge Necrolith bone dragon, along with some skeletal chariots, archers, spearmen and cavalry. So this is all looking rather exciting. I'm really looking forward to this. This is absolutely fantastic. If you kept your old models from when Warhammer Fantasy Battle was still a thing, you can just buy the Warhammer The Old World rulebook, the Forces of Fantasy and Ravening Hordes rulebooks. The Old World rulebook is of course the core rules for the game, containing everything you will need to know to play your Warhammer Old World games. The Forces of Fantasy is the sort of the more heroic armies, such as the Kingdom of Bretonnia, the Dwarves, the High Elves, etc., the Empire. And the Ravening Hordes will be the bad guys TM, which will be our 2 Kings of Kemri, possibly Chaos, Orcs and Goblins, Dark Elves if they're in there, Skaven if they're in there, and any other of the old bad guy types. So all rather exciting. I wonder where they'll put Lizard Men. Good guys or bad guys? Comment down below and let me know what you think. To accompany the Kingdom of Bretonnia is the Arcane Journal Kingdom of Bretonnia. So devotees of the Lady can supplement their Grand Army list with this paperback, which contains various rules and background for the Kingdom of Bretonnia. And this is actually some plethora of new rules and etc. So a nice accompaniment to expand on the army list found in the other rulebook. To accompany this whole release, we're looking at a huge slew of miniatures. So we've got the Battle Standard Bearer on Royal Pegasus, which is a very nice looking miniature indeed. And this is a plastic kit. We have the Pegasus Knights themselves, of course, which are plastic as we know from the core box set. We have a series of Grail Knights and Grail Knight Command, which are metal miniatures. So perhaps I'll do some tutorials later on how I piece together metal miniatures so that they don't drop to bits. I'll be showing you techniques such as pinning and the good use of cyanacrylate or super glue to stick your stuff together. Next up, we see the Battle Pilgrims and the Grail Reliquae. The Grail Reliquae featuring old Denny Bowden's Grail Knight himself there, and the Battle Pilgrims are coming in a pack of 12 metal miniatures featuring 9 different models, so of course 3 of them will be repeats of what you saw before. Of course, no mounted knightly army would be fit to go into battle without some peasants to soak up the arrows and the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, if you will. So we see mounted yeomen and a mounted yeoman command, which is 5 metal models on plastic horses, and the yeoman command is 3 metal models, again on plastic horses, which will be a warden / champion, standard bearer on musician. And these are quite nice. These can take their heraldry or colour markings from your general rather than the actual Knights of the Realm, and I like to jazz it up a bit with my Knights of the Realm and do different heraldry on each one of them. For some magic power, we will see some Handmaiden of the Lady there on foot, or Tactical Rock if you will, though it looks more like Tactical Orchid for this young lady, which is again a very fine miniature and is in Forge World resin, and she can be used as a damsel or prophetess depending on the level of magic you wish her to be using. We can also use our battle standard bearer on foot and mounted, which are very nice, which I would probably stat and point up either as questing or Grail Knights just to give them that extra bit of ass kickingness. And does it say anywhere Forge World resin again? So yeah, I hope you like resin, boys and girls. Next up, we will see a questing knight paladin with great weapon on foot, and that is a big old sword, and I don't think it's going to do very stabby with that orc's face stuck to the bottom of it, but there you go. Again, Forge World resin, but hopefully if their resin's better, this will be a nice model to paint. And of course, rounding up the Kingdom of Bretonia, we have reference cards and dice. The reference cards you may want because, you know, it's probably easier than lugging books around. The dice, there looks to be, what's that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 dice to a pack. Oh no, sorry, 18 dice to a pack it says here, and they're very pretty, but let's be honest, they're probably very overpriced and expensive as well, so it's up to you, kiddie winks. And of course, all of that Bretonian gear would not be fair and complete unless our bony brethren got a similar thing. So we have an arcane journal from the Tomb Kings of Khemri containing lore and other rules and blah de blah and everything, basically the same thing, but for the other guys. We will also be looking at 20 plastic Tomb Guardians, which are very nice, even if the hats are a little bit odd. But there you go. Can't be a nice hat. And these can be done with hand weapons or halberd and look kind of cool, to be honest. By the way, if the rules are similar in this edition and the points aren't too much, I would definitely recommend halberds over hand weapons, as halberds used to give +1 strength on your attack, which for things like skeletons, which in the old days was strength 3, that extra bit of point of strength, you know, up to strength 4, give them a little bit of an edge in combat. That's just a word of advice from me to you. Don't tell anybody I told you. Next up, we're looking at a series of snake dudes, which can also be built as Necropolis Knights. So these lovely sneaky fellas come with their very own hand weapons, and if you have them as Necropolis Knights, they have, well, they're mounts with a skelly bob on top. So that's kind of cool. I like them. I'm almost tempted to bin off the Bretonians and go for Khemri, purely because they've got such funky stuff like this. Next up, we're looking at the Necrosphinx, and Necrosphinx is a bizarre and terrifying construct, and isn't it just? I very much like the sort of dark teal black marbling effect there on that miniature. Very nice paint job, and all that gold is just luscious. And this is a plastic kit, and he can also be built as a Khemrian War Sphinx, which gives him a howdah on his back and a tomb guard to ride him, which is also very nice. I kind of like that as well. See, this is why we end up spending so much money. But never mind. We next up see Cetra the Imperishable in his 4 skeletal horse chariot, and I guarantee you that Cetra is anything but imperishable once those nice boys from Bretonia have had a good old go at him. Again, this is quite a nice miniature, and this metal and plastic kit, so I'm going to guess plastic horses and metal pretty much everything else, is again looking pretty sweet. For all your magic needs, we are going to be looking at a Lich Priest or Lich Priest of the Mortuary Cult, and he holds the secrets to unlife. So when your Skelly Bobs are dropping like, well, Skelly Bobs, your Lich Priest will go, more Skelly Bobs please, and you will have more Skelly Bobs. Lovely stuff. And then for anyone who's wondered why that paint was called Ushabti Bone, there's some Ushabti. These are giant god-headed beasts, so based on the old Egyptian gods of our earth. So they have jackal heads, eagle heads, crocodile heads, etc., and come and are available with melee weapons or Ushabti great bows to poke holes in all your Bretonian knights. And of course, the army would not be complete without Tomb King, who is a Forge World resin model and very nice for all that. And of course, a battle standard bearer who can be done is a Royal Herald with flail, and again, Forge World resin and a nice miniature. Nothing would be complete without a few tomb swarms, so big piles of scarabs and bones piling across, and you know, some of these swarm templates are an absolute nightmare to fight, and always have been in Warhammer Fantasy Battle and Warhammer 40k. Tomb bases, swarm bases have always been a bit of a nightmare, but they're fun, and these ones are Forge World resin. And of course, to finish off our Tomb Kings of Khemri, we have the old reference cards and dice. Again, 18 dice, and you know, they're quite nice, but I can't help but feel that they're going to be overpriced as ever. But there you go. And of course, we have a generic Warhammer the Old World dice set for if your army has not been seen yet. Sleeves for your magic cards, a common magic items deck, and a Laws of Magic reference card pack, both of which will probably be kind of useful. And then you'll get the card sleeves, or let's be honest, some cheaper ones from somewhere else to keep them nice and clean and tidy and protected. And that is all we're looking at for Warhammer the Old World, except if you were smart enough to keep all your Warhammer Fantasy Battle gear, and unlike this idiot, all you need to do pretty much is rebase onto slightly larger bases, after looking at rules for your armies. And Games Workshop, in their infinite wisdom, are going to be producing a range of bases, so square ones varying from 25 to 50 millimeters, cavalry bases looking at 25 by 50, 30 by 60, and then looking at larger square monster type bases looking at a 40 millimeter by 60 millimeter up to a 150 by 100 millimeter base. So Lucky old you, if you kept your stuff, all you're going to need to do is rebase it and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and various other phrases. If you can get away with it, I would stick a magnet on the new base, a magnet under your old base, and just drop them on rather than messing about. And of course we have some movement trays which come as a flat sheet, as 200 by 200 millimeter sheet with various edging pieces so that you can cut and make your movement trays fit your army, which is kind of nice. It would probably help if for when you're doing something like Bretonnian Knights and their lance formation. I don't know if Bretonnian archers will still have their arrowhead formation, which was a similar sort of pointy thing, but it will help. And of course, for those uninitiated and needing to know where everything is, we have a lovely map of the old world, which is 1 meter by just under 90 centimeters, actually 89 centimeters, to fit on your wall and plan your campaigns from. That is it completely for Warhammer the Old World. So let's quickly move across to Warhammer 40,000, where we have a bunch of miniatures moving into a made to order, launching on the 6th of January. So we've got Necron Overlords, Huron Blackhearts, classic Crypt Tech. What else have we got here? Nice Chaos Space Marine sort of Mechanicum thing there. Various other Necrons. We've coming to paperback and ebook editions. Next up, we're looking at things from many other game systems and hobby supplies. It's absolutely fantastic. If you go there,